Alright, so here I thought I'd just make a short overview of what happens when you right click. So, as you see, I use it quite a bit just to maneuver around here. So we'll take it from top to bottom. Your first four are the way that you want your 3D viewport or your 2D viewports to be shaded. By default, the 2D viewports are in wireframe and the 3D is in flat shaded. Now, smooth shaded and textured are mostly the same, at least in the context of Blockland. The only difference is if you apply an actual texture, not just a material, but a material with a texture on it, then it will look different in smooth shade and textured. But wireframe looks like this, where you can see everything. Flat shaded looks like this. In other models, for instance, let's open something a little different. What could I open here? Alright, I'll just open Barnabas's Capitan. Now you see those triangles are very, very unattractive for a model that's supposed to be so smooth. But if you put it in textured, then it all just goes away. Smooth shaded and textured will be the same for Blockland purposes. Alright. After those four, you will have colored groups and colored smoothing groups. So I will just open my Dalek, for example, and I'll just shade it like I explained in the other video. Alright. So what we can do is, based on the groups that things are in, we can color them differently. And your right-click options are different for every viewport that you have. So if I change something in this one, if I turn this to smooth shaded, it's not going to affect the other three. So I'll turn colored groups on here. And now my Dalek looks like a clown, and we see we have these weird graphic issues, but that's been fixed. This is an old model. And then we can deselect that, and then select colored smoothing groups, which allows you to see just the way that my Dalek has been smoothed. Alright. We can give it a wireframe overlay if we wish. This way we can see exactly which side of the model I'm selecting. If I select half of it, we can see that I'm selecting that side. Alright, we have our transparency settings, which, for instance, if we want to make our lights on my Dalek, if we want to make those, which I believe they have their own group, I just have to identify which one it is. These are, everything I've selected here is supposed to be clear, like this. So, as you can see, well, except for the base of the lights, but that's been changed, obviously. See, with that, you can have your transparency just be simple, which does not look very good. You can give it this setting, or you can give it this setting. And obviously this setting is the best, and this is the setting that you should be using because it doesn't look terrible. So let's just delete that texture for now. You have your projection, which basically is the same thing as this. It allows you to choose which type of viewport it is, which side you're viewing it from. And then you have your toggleable. You have show axis, which you can do that. I just hid that. You can see the axis here, and then we can do show grid, which means we can show the grid. Personally, I think that looks kind of ugly in the viewport, so I have both of those off. You can reset your view, which just gives you the default view, like that. You can frame all. For instance, if I did that, I do frame all, and it would show me everything. Or I could just do frame selection, it would only show me that one. Your 3D viewport rotates around the origin, which it just so happens to be the center of my dollock, because I moved that to absolute value of 0 when I saved the model. Alright, so after those is rotate around selection center, which means, for instance, if I don't want to rotate around the axis, but instead I want to rotate around that, then you can turn that on and off. See, you can turn it on, and now the Dalek is orbiting, or you can turn it off, and now the cube is orbiting. Let's see. You can take screenshot and record AVI. Those are pretty useless. You'll probably just want to use a program for record AVI, and you could just use print screen for take screenshot. I'm fairly certain that take screenshot has been broken for some time. It used to work way back when I just started modeling, and it stopped working for me. So now I just use print screen for screenshots, and then you can just maximize this view. You can maximize this one if you need to see extra space up close that you can't reach by having a smaller one, or if you want to take a picture, you can, have this and print screen. So yeah, that's this whole thing when you right click, and it's pretty useful if you want to centralize your models, or if you only want to look at a certain piece of it. Frame selection, it zooms in for you, and you can reset view in case you do this and you can't find your model. I literally can't find my model, but I'll just click reset view, and now it's good.